Hi there. Today we're going to be talking about the amazing cell, prokaryotes versus eukaryotes. In today's lesson, we will learn about the similarities and differences in prokaryotes and eukaryotic cells. We will discuss the different structures from each cell and their functions. We will also see the difference between an animal cell and a plant cell. Now, I want you to remember that cells are the basic unit of life for all living things. And there are two types of cells, which again are the prokaryotic cells, and they are found in bacteria and archaea, and the eukaryotic cells, which are found in protists, fungi, plants, and animals. The phylogenetic tree of life is a system for classifying biological organisms. Over the years, scientists have developed several systems for the classification of organisms. Under the system, organisms are classified into three domains. The domains are bacteria, archaea, and eukarya. The archaea and bacteria domains contain prokaryotic organisms. These are organisms that do not have a membrane-bound nucleus. The eukarya domain includes eukaryotes, or organisms that have a membrane-bound nucleus. This domain is further subdivided into the kingdoms Protista, fungi, plantae, and animalia. Well, let's first ask ourselves, what is a prokaryotic cell? This type of cell does not have a nucleus and internal membrane-bound structures. Most unicellular organisms are prokaryotes. They are found in bacteria and archaea. Well, let's talk about the structure and the functions of each structure for the prokaryotic cells. First, we have the nucleoid region, which is the chromosome, and it's a region where the cellular chromosome DNA is located. Next, we have the pili. There are hair-like structures on the surface of the cell that attach to other bacterial cells. Ribosomes are cell structures responsible for protein production. Food granules store nutrients such as glycogen and PBH. Flagellum is a long, thin extension that allows bacteria to move about freely in aqueous environments. The plasmid is described as a circular piece of DNA. They are pieces of DNA that can be manipulated through the use of restriction enzymes. The cytosol is a gel-like substance composed mainly of water that also contains enzymes, salts, cell components, and various organic molecules. The plasma membrane surrounds the cell and involves in the movement of materials into and out of the cell. The cell wall is the outer covering of most cells that protects the bacterial cell and gives it its shape. And last, we have the capsule that is found in some bacterial cells. This additional outer covering protects the cell when it is engulfed by other organisms, assists in retaining moisture, and helps the cell adhere to surfaces and nutrients. So here we have the structures and the functions of the prokaryotic cells. Next, let's talk about the eukaryotic cell. Well, what is a eukaryotic cell? This is a type of cells that do have a nucleus and internal membrane-bound structures. Most multicellular organisms are eukaryotics, and they are found in protists, fungi, plants, and animals. Now, yeast and algae are unicellular eukaryotes. So let's talk about the structures and the functions of each structure of the eukaryotic cells. And we're going to go ahead and let's talk first about the animal cell. And then next we'll talk about the plant cell. First, what we have, of course, is the nucleus, which is what's called the brains of the cell. The nucleus directs cell's activities and contains genetic material called chromosomes made of DNA. Next, we have the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, which for short you can call it smooth ER. It has a wide range of functions, including carbohydrate and lipid synthesis. It serves as a transitional area for vesicles that transport ER products to various destinations. Next, we have the rough endoplasmic reticulum, which of course you can call it for short rough ER. It manufactures membranes and circulatory proteins. The flagellum, it It aids in the cellular locomotion. The lysosome contains digestive enzymes to help break food down. The centriole, it helps organize the assembly of microtubules. The peroxisome are small vesicles found around the cell. They have a single membrane that contains digestive enzymes for breaking down toxic materials in the cell. The microtubules are fibrous hollow rods that function primarily to help support and shape the cell. The intermediate filament are great tensile strength, and their main function is to enable cells to withstand the mechanical stress that occurs when cells are stretched. Now, you will find microfilaments in most cells. They are the partner of microtubules. They are long, thin, and stringy proteins. We like to say you can find them here or there, but they are everywhere in a cell. They work with microtubules to form the structure that allows the cell to hold its shape, move itself, and move its organelles. The mitochondria are known as the powerhouses of the cell. They are organelles that act like a digestive system that takes in nutrients, breaks them down, and creates energy for the cell. Again, the plasma membrane, it surrounds the cell. It involves in the movement of materials into and out of the cell. And we have the Golgi apparatus that has various functions and an organ. These organelles are responsible for processing of proteins generated in endoplasmic reticulum and packaging them, transport of lipids around the cell, and the creation of lysosomes, among other various functions. And last but not least, we have ribosomes, which are mainly bound to the endoplasmic reticulum and the nuclear envelope, as well as freely scattered throughout the cytoplasm. The organelles serve as the protein production machinery for the cell and are consequently most abundant in cells that are active in protein synthesis. So here we have the structure and the function of the animal cell in eukaryotics. So let's talk about now the plant cell in eukaryotic cells. Of course, we have the nucleus, which is often the largest organelle in a plant cell. It is enclosed by a double membrane called the nuclear envelope, and the nucleus serves to protect the DNA information. Vacuoles found in eukaryotes are organelles filled with aqueous solutions containing various dissolved substances. Vacuoles are used for the storage of waste and food. They are also useful for maintaining cell structure and water balance. The mitochondria in a plant cell are part of the cell that help it to produce the energy it needs to grow and perform its basic functions. And the chloroplast aids in the transfer of carbohydrate to all parts of the plant, aiding in plant survival. It also captures light energy, which is stored in the energy storage molecules ATP for use in the process of photosynthesis. The cell membrane again surrounds the cell, and it involves in the movement of materials into and out of the cell. And the cell wall is made out of cellulose, which are found around in plant cells. Cell walls are made of specialized sugars called cellulose, and cellulose provides a protective framework for a plant cell to survive. And last but not least, of course, we have the cytoplasm, which consists of all the contents outside of the nucleus and enclosed within the cell membrane of a cell. The cytoplasm is clear in color and has a gel-like appearance. The cytoplasm helps to move materials around the cell and also dissolves cellular waste. So here we have the structure and the function of the plant cell in eukaryotic cells. Now let's talk about the traits shared between the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Both cells perform same basic functions. Both are surrounded by plasma membrane to control what enters or leaves the cell. Both contain ribosomes in order to make proteins, and both contain DNA to give general instructions for the cell's life. Next, let's talk about the differences on eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. When eukaryotic cells, their size is larger, they're more complex, and they contain true nucleus to house genetic material. They have linear DNA packaged into chromosome found inside the nucleus. Contain specialized structures in the cytoplasm called organelles to carry out various functions. Animal cells do not have a cell wall, but plant cells do. In prokaryotics, the cell size is smaller, less complex, no true nucleus. Circular DNA is found in the cytoplasm, no organelles found in the cytoplasm, and all are surrounded by a cell wall. Now for your assignment, I would like for you to please make a model of a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell, labeling each structure of each cell. You can do this like with Play-Doh or with styrofoam, however you feel fit to get creative on creating both cells. And this assignment will be due in a week, and hope to see very creative models of both prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. Well, thank you so much for listening today to today's assignment on both cells, on the amazing cell, and hope you learned something today. Have a great day.